Hello, Leo. Leo sun sign or Leo ascendant. Okay, so let's take a look at this. November for everyone is a kind of controversial time frame. The roles are hero, stoic, or provocateur. There will be big issues, not a dull moment in November. The issues may not be yours, but they may affect you indirectly. So be alert that this is not a normal month. Stay cool, toughen up, and avoid self-sacrifice. So just to fine-tune this, the first half of November is pretty okay. It's the second half that you got to watch out for. So you're setting the foundation for the second half, particularly on the new moon. But let's first talk, Venus is conjunct Mars, November 1st through 3rd. The new moon is November 9th through 13th, always a formative time. November 16th through December 6th is when the problems start. And then this is ignited by the full moon, which is around Thanksgiving, November 23rd through 27th. So first, the good news, which is Venus conjunct Mars in your second house. So you may acquire more resources, you have a stronger sense of aesthetics, and your instincts are really, intense. And so we're looking at stars in the constellation of Virgo and also the tail of Leo, and we're looking at the cup. These are the operative things. So Virgos are really congenial sort of constellation, and has to do with culture, so academic skills. These are things that can help you in connection with your materials, tools, resources, and your aesthetic. And also in terms of the tail of the lion, this is used to signal followers, people who are interested in your aesthetics, people interested who can benefit from your resources. And the cup is wonderful because your collections might become more prominent. You could attract prosperous people because of the resources or products that you have. And then there's opportunities for sharing, which is always good karma. So there's a grandiose sense of romance. There's culture. There are potent experiences. These are all really great, and this will intensify your survival instincts, if nothing else. So go for the glory. Really, if people offer you money or things, take it and draw upon what is beautiful and good. Okay, so that's that first chapter. Now, the next chapter is the new moon, and this is going to emphasize your home and your basis for happiness. So maybe spending more time with family or developing your home in some way, improved management. This is your first quarter, actually. So we are 3 months into the year, and this is when it's a time of freedom, the first 3 months, but you set up your entire year at this. So, you kind of want to have at least your foot in the door for everything you want to have happen from, up until your next birthday. That's what the first quarter is for. So this new moon is in a part of the zodiac, very interesting. The two signs are overlapping here. We have the claws of Scorpio, which is persuasion, and we have the scales of Libra. Very interesting. And so both these are happening in connection with your family, home, and happiness. So it's the tabula rasa, and you can set up what you want. So in terms of your happiness, maybe love of arts and academia are crucial for your home and happiness and for the family interaction. And then also we have the Centaur is a featured constellation here. So that is the idea here, maybe in terms of family, this would fit that you want to chill out on hypersensitivity and just be more tolerant of other family members' eccentricity. Maybe seeking excitement here means that you all take a field trip or you do something fun in your house. Also, because the serpent here, the shaman is holding a serpent, and the serpent has a very intense sense of smell. So maybe you can try new flavors or scents in connection with your home, and this activates the serpent brain, and that can really give you, increased instinct, and maybe on some level, just more happiness, actually. But you also want to remove obstacles, because the plans for this new moon, in terms of your home and your management and happiness, confidence builders and obstacle removers are two of the most important themes. So it's a very strategic time frame. You can calculate motions, use keen awareness and observation of other family members, and just of how well is your management working and how happy are you. That's important. Okay, now that was the fun part of November. Now we're into the more challenging part. This is where we're really going to see some character development. Now, it's really for Leos, it's a pretty okay situation, this Saturn square Neptune. So in this case, we have actually 3 chances to deal with reality as it's encroaching on fantasy. And humans are fantasy prone, everyone. So we get your first chance here in November, the second chance in June, and the third chance in September. And at that point, you really want to have your feet planted on the ground, and you really know what's real. In this case, Saturn in your 5th house of talent is you really want to build up your expertise regarding your talents. How can you really fine-tune them? You get training, you become more professional. And the dream world, ironically, is dealing in the area of collaborations, contracts, and troubleshooting. So who can you really collaborate with, or who's a little too flaky? What kind of contracts are you setting up, and are they really the right way to set up a contract? And troubleshooting in terms of sensitivity or toxins. We all live in this world of toxins, so maybe you want to eliminate toxins in your life, and that's going to help you. Okay, so you, in terms of your talents, you can be very tenacious and successful in terms of developing your talent. And your children, if you have any, will take on some of these qualities also. In your 8th house, you might be a little bit sort of wanting to have it all, and maybe adopting a noble cause in connection with collaborations can help. But you also want to do an ample amount of troubleshooting, and when you're dealing with the planet Neptune, there's so much stuff going on. It's so complex that there's a lot to do, and just to keep things in order. So that's your assignment. And so bottom line is, those people or projects living in an ideal world or too ideal world might be impractical and lack compliance, with what's really going to work. So think of this as character potential, character growth potential, and coping mechanisms and adjustments are activated. What's really going to work? That's what you want to be aware of. So the full moon's going to push this over the top, because in this case, the full moon is going to be very active for you in terms of benefactors, patrons, and friends. You're going to be very active in clubs and groups, maybe because it's the Thanksgiving holiday, or for whatever reason. And in terms of your friends, the kind of friends you like, it depends, like this full moon near the bullseye, people who are really hitting it, people who are really making it. So you may have friends, a collection of iconoclasts, rebels, patriots. There's a judgment day, so you can just sit back and watch the drama to some degree, but I think some of the best friends that you could cultivate here are the ones who have influence and power, the people who are contract-oriented, and also in some group situations, you want to guard against harsh judgments, even though people might just be flipping out. Who knows what they're dealing with. So the other thing is that if you can use optimism, you're going to be more appealing in your groups. You want to be reasonably appealing, but remain in a state of grace, which might be, a little bit, don't take sides right away if there's some conflict. So overall, the most challenging time frame of 2015, it's going to be like a thriller movie, and will bring some important choices in terms of fight or flight. And so stay out of bad neighborhoods, know what you can handle, maintain your safety and integrity. That's what I would say, because there's some heroic impulses here, but be reasonable. Okay, so here the first half of November looks pretty good. That's when you're setting things up. The second half might be reactive, and the first half is proactive. So December 2015, to give you a sneak preview, we're still regrouping out of November because it's going to be a wild time. And December 15th, we're going to be aware that the revolution that started in 2011, which is world events, technological, sociological, it's still happening. Maybe it's a little redundant at this point, but it's still going on until April 2016. So my advice is be hip, friendly, and tech savvy in December, and that should carry you through. So tune back in with me for a September forecast, and thank you very much for watching, and I hope November works out for you. I think it should.
Bu akşam seminerimizi canlı olarak mobil uygulamamız üzerinden yapıyoruz.